Oh shit, here we go again.
In this video, we're breaking down the latest chapter of solo leveling Ragnarok, covering the key moments and story progression. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more manhwa recaps like this. With that said, let's get into the recap. As the chapter begins, the battle is already underway. A hunter is seen calmly unleashing his power, aided by a shadow-type item worn on his wrist, a mysterious bracelet. Moments later, the story highlights the item's abilities as its skill panel appears, hinting at its destructive potential. The scene then reveals the wielder of this power to be none other than 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆. Standing at the center of the battlefield, he leads a coordinated party of hunters into the dungeon. Without hesitation, 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆 launches his signature attack, Rapid Ignition, flooding the area with blazing flames. From the rear, Park Jong-soo and Ma Dong-wook step forward, taking their positions as the team advances. As the charge begins, smaller dungeon creatures rush toward them, only to be instantly overwhelmed. 𝗙cie𝗽's fire consumes the minions effortlessly, leaving nothing behind but scorched remains. Watching the scene unfold, Ma Dong-wook remarks that this outcome was only natural for someone known as the ultimate weapon. To him, 𝗙cie𝗽's overwhelming power makes their involvement seem unnecessary. However, 𝗙cie𝗽's expression shifts, sensing something is off. At that moment, a warning comes from behind. One of the hunters shouts that the main monster is still alive. The camera cuts sharply as the massive creature suddenly attacks from behind Ma Dong-wook, catching the group off guard. Instead of panicking, Ma Dong-wook slowly turns around. A confident smile spreads across his face as he locks eyes with the monster. The next instant, a new status panel appears, showcasing Ma Dong-wook's abilities and raw strength. With absolute confidence, he declares that this level of damage barely affects him. Activating his skill, Giant Form, Ma Dong-wook's body surges with power, his presence alone overwhelming the battlefield. At the same time, Park Jong-soo seizes the opening. From above and behind the monster, he clenches his fist and delivers a devastating strike, activating his skill. Offense is the best defense. The impact is catastrophic. In a single blow, he pierces straight through the monster's body, leaving a massive hole in its abdomen and ending the fight decisively. With the giant monster finally defeated, the battlefield grows quiet. As the dust settles, Ma Dong-wook reflects on the battle, admitting that he never imagined he could perform this well inside an S-rank dungeon. He then reveals the reason behind his newfound strength. This level of performance is the result of intense special training made possible by the weapon Suho entrusted to him. Both hunters suddenly turn their attention elsewhere. Someone is approaching. Observing the calm battlefield, Ma Dong-wook notes that the situation now seems largely under control. Moments later, the newcomers come into view. Leading the group is Baek Yoonho, accompanied by his daughter, with son Gi-hoon following closely behind. Due to limited time, Gi-hoon was unable to secure any equipment before entering the dungeon. Taking in the surroundings, Baek Yoonho comments that the scavenger guild appears to have pushed deeper into the dungeon ahead of them. Hearing this, 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆 grows alert and suggests that they should move quickly. From behind him, Park Jong-soo acknowledges 𝗙cie𝗽's earlier decisions, crediting his judgment for allowing their team to regroup so efficiently. Still, a concern remains. What about the 4 hunters who are still unaccounted for? Adjusting his glasses, 𝗙cie𝗽 calmly explains that there's no cause for concern. Suho, he believes, deliberately chose to move on his own instead of regrouping, likely to avoid unnecessary interference from the Scavenger Guild. As for the Grim Reaper Guild, their members value independence and are probably advancing separately as well. In the end, there is only one destination that matters: the boss room. As long as everyone continues forward, they are bound to cross paths eventually. That's when 𝗙cie𝗽 makes it clear who their true obstacle is. Standing in their way is the Scavenger Guild, and among them is the National Authority class hunter, Thomas Andre. With quiet resolve, 𝗙cie𝗽 declares that when the time comes, he'll prove exactly what he's capable of. The scene shifts. Heavy footsteps crunch against the snow-covered ground. The figure revealed is Thomas Andre, walking forward with his hands tucked into his pockets, exuding overwhelming presence. Behind him, members of his guild follow without question. From a high cliff overlooking the path, 2 hidden figures observe his movements in silence. Those figures soon reveal themselves to be Park Dojin and Lee Yoon-seok, trailing Andre from a distance. Inside his thoughts, Park Dojin recognizes the man before him, the very embodiment of a national authority-class hunter. His ambition burns quietly. If he could somehow claim that level of power, seize even a fragment of it, he could secure additional S-rank hunters, reshape the balance of power, and perhaps even spark a war using the resources he already controls, or sacrifice everything to force a miracle into existence. As he prepares to activate the star fragment and launch his attack, an unexpected sound interrupts him. Footsteps approach from behind. A voice follows, calm yet firm, suggesting that no matter how fierce the competition becomes, attacking other guilds should be avoided. Park Dojin tilts his head slightly, confusion flickering across his face. The man who steps forward is none other than 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁. Speaking as a guild master, he makes it clear that he cannot ignore behavior like this. He questions why Dojin didn't regroup with his team, and what he's really doing here. Dojin responds smoothly, claiming that they simply noticed the scavenger guild near their landing site and followed them, hoping to steal the rewards if an opportunity arose. But 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆𝗵's eyes narrow. He calls out the lie immediately. He explains that he's been watching them since the moment they landed. Their claim doesn't add up. The aircraft explosion near the landing zone, it was caused by Lee Yoon-seok's ability, wasn't it? 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆𝗵 demands the truth. What exactly are the two of them planning? Under the weight of his gaze, both Park Dojin and Lee Yoon-seok lower their eyes. Then Park Dojin finally drops the facade. As his pupils darken unnaturally, he admits that 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆𝗵 noticed after all. A ranger's instincts, he acknowledges, are on another level. He adds coldly that Lee Min would have survived without issue if he had simply stayed where he was. The moment those words leave his mouth, 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆𝗵's expression hardens. Rage flashes through his eyes as he prepares his weapon, demanding clarification. The tension in the air spikes, violence now inevitable. Park Dojin responds coldly, pointing out that his opponent may not be a national authority-class hunter, but that hardly matters. An S-rank is still worth using. In his mind, it's simply a case of making do with what's available. When something greater can't be obtained, even a lesser substitute will serve its purpose. At his side, Lee Yoon-seok quietly prepares to strike. In the blink of an eye, Yoon-seok vanishes and reappears directly behind 𝗙cie𝗽𝗆𝗵, moving with deadly intent. The scene abruptly shifts elsewhere. A strange, star-shaped object gleams in someone's hand. This artifact is known as a star fragment, and the one holding it is 𝗙cie. Standing beside her is 𝗙cie, the heir of frost, held hostage by a grotesque centipede-like creature writhing at 𝗙cie's command. 𝗙cie calmly explains that once the fragment is embedded into a body, there will be no need for meaningless conversation. From behind her, a small child named 𝗶𝗶𝗴 looks on and coldly remarks that 𝗙cie should have listened, calling her foolish for resisting. Without hesitation, 𝗙cie hands the star fragment to the centipede. Inside 𝗙cie's mind, panic surges. She doesn't understand what they're saying. She only knows one thing. She wants to protect her younger siblings. Desperate thoughts flood her mind as she silently calls out for help, for her uncle, for her grandfather. As the centipede creeps closer to her mouth, terror overwhelms her. She refuses to accept this fate. Suddenly, everything stops. A massive, shadowy hand bursts into the scene and violently grabs the centipede mid-motion. 𝗙cie and 𝗶𝗶𝗴 freeze in shock, staring at the unexpected intervention. 𝗙cie immediately recognizes it. This presence is unmistakable. The creature is torn apart effortlessly by a shadow soldier, its overwhelming power on full display. Realization dawns on 𝗙cie as she recognizes the summon and understands who controls it. 𝗙cie reacts with visible irritation. If contact has already been made with the shadow heir, then the situation has become far more complicated than expected. From behind her, 𝗶𝗶𝗴 confidently declares that the shadow heir will arrive here soon. 𝗙cie clicks her tongue in frustration. She admits that she has no remaining star fragments and has no intention of breaking her contract with 𝗖𝗏𝗏 just to clash with the shadow heir. Instead, she decides on a simpler solution. She will seize the heir of frost and escape immediately. Turning her attention elsewhere, she calls on Granga, placing her trust in him. Watching everything unfold, 𝗙cie steadies her breathing. Fear still lingers, but it hardens into resolve. She refuses to lower her guard again. These are the ones who threatened her. This time, she won't run. With a dagger clenched tightly in her hand, 𝗙cie launches herself toward 𝗙cie. But before she can reach her target, Granga appears in an instant. His fist slams brutally into 𝗙cie's abdomen, stopping her attack cold. At the same time, the massive shadow soldier attempts to retaliate, only to be destroyed in a single, effortless strike from Granga. As 𝗙cie's body recoils from the impact, disbelief floods her thoughts. This strength? It's on an entirely different level. 𝗙cie issues a sharp warning, telling 𝗙cie to stay still. Any further resistance, she implies, will only lead to unnecessary pain. Before anyone can react, a powerful presence descends from above. From the edge of the cliff, Suho leaps down into the battlefield. The moment his feet hit the ground, the atmosphere shifts. Everyone instinctively takes a fighting stance, bracing for what comes next. Suho's gaze locks onto the group as he demands to know who they are and why they're taking the child. The instant 𝗙cie sees him, her composure breaks. Tears well up in her eyes. Help has finally arrived. Without hesitation, Suho moves first. He launches forward, his attack colliding head-on with Granga. The impact sends a violent shockwave through the air, whipping up a massive gust of wind that ripples across the battlefield. Granga strains under the force, his body trembling as he absorbs the blow, before being hurled backward several steps. Despite the damage, Granga steadies himself and begins preparing a counterattack. While the clash unfolds, 𝗙cie seizes the opportunity. Grabbing 𝗙cie, she retreats alongside 𝗙cie, attempting to escape amid the chaos. Panic creeps into 𝗙cie's voice as she asks what they should do. The Shadow Heir and Granga are already locked in combat. 𝗙cie remains focused. She orders 𝗙cie to prepare the gate immediately. Inside her thoughts, 𝗙cie reassesses the situation. Based on the combat data gathered through their surveillance, Suho shouldn't be capable of overwhelming Granga so quickly. As long as Granga holds him off, they can escape with the air of frost. But then, a voice echoes behind her. Calm, cold, unavoidable. Suho asks where they think they're going. The next scene shatters 𝗙cie's expectations. Granga is already defeated. He's down on his knees, completely overpowered. The fight finished far sooner than anyone anticipated. 𝗙cie watches the scene unfold in stunned disbelief, tears streaming down her face. Fury radiates from Suho as he steps forward. His demand is simple and absolute: return the child. As his words hang in the air, the chapter closes with a clear reveal. Hunter Suho's status window appears, signaling just how overwhelming his true strength really is. If you made it till the end, subscribe for more recaps like this. Don't forget to like and share. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Stay safe and keep watching.